Reed, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was asked last week if the Saints have the best defense in the league. He said, of course. Overreaction, or is he right?
I would hope so. I would hope he would say that his team has the best defense. And look, I don't think he's that far off base. I have him as the 7th best secondary, and their defensive line is probably top 5 in my opinion. Like Cameron Jordan, shout out hashtag Cameron. He's been there as a very quality pass and rush defender. Marcus Davenport on the other side, very strong. And David Onyemata, he was out, I believe, in the first 6 games last year because of some PEDs. But look, I mean, he's back and he's one of the top 20, I think, interior defensive linemen this season. So yeah, like their secondary is strong, and if they can stay, look, there's another team that starts off really strong defensively and then kind of falters. They have a really strong defense, and especially in the cornerback position.
Pierce?
I think it's interesting that probably the worst defender on this team is saying that they have the best defense. You know, I would feel better if Cameron Jordan was the guy saying, of course we're the best. Or Marcus Davenport, one of the highest graded at PFF on the defensive line, says, yes, we're the best. But when you have one of your worst guys saying, yeah, we're the best, I don't know. Maybe that guy needs to talk a little less. They didn't make the playoffs last season. Yes, they are a top 10 defense. Maybe they're even a top 5 defense. Lattimore's good still. They've got plenty of Demario Davis is good. I think Tyrann Mathieu it's good. He's okay, but that is a downgrade that they lost guy through free agency at safety. They replaced him with Mathieu, and I don't know. There's a little bit of weakness there. Probably still a top 10 defense, but not, of course, the best.
Jeff, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, like you can if you have the Saints as a top 5 defense this year, I mean, no one's going to really argue with you. You know, you look at some of their metrics from last season. It's a team who was, first in terms of like they allowed the least amount of rush yards per game at 3.7. They were tough to pass against. You could pass against the Saints, but it wasn't like they were allowing, 400-yard games every season, not every game, but part of the passing thing did come down to how their offense played. So, the one factor with the Saints was, their secondary, they did allow some explosive plays. Marshawn Lattimore, great cornerback, but kind of a little bit up and down. They tried to address it a little bit. They got in Tyrann Mathieu over the offseason. I don't know how much that's going to address the secondary and the bigger plays back there, but it's still going to be like a defense that's, if it's not top 5, it's bordering on the top 5, right? So I think the Saints really are kind of just setting up as a little bit of an underrated team for me. They're going to have a good defense. If this offense just can improve even just a little bit off of last year, maybe the Bucs regress. I don't know. The Saints are a really interesting team for me, not really for fantasy purposes, but more from a real life perspective. I think you're getting a little bit of value there to potentially take them to win the division. But yeah, I think their defense is going to be top, not going to be the best, but they're going to be top 5, I think.